Alright, so I just got back from watching One Battle After Another, the latest film from acclaimed director Paul Thomas Anderson. So I am definitely not a Paul Thomas Anderson connoisseur or savant in any way. The only other movie made by him that I've seen is There Will Be Blood, which I thought was pretty good. Not my cup of tea, but I do think it is an objectively well done, well made movie. Since I started doing these reviews, this one was definitely marked on the calendar with lots of interest. The trailers were interesting. It's got Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, bit of a stacked cast, Regina Hall. Good director, good actors. So usually this means we're going to get a pretty good movie. And this time, I was right. It is a pretty good movie. One Battle After Another is very much well made, and I think I like it more than There Will Be Blood. I don't know if I can say it's objectively better, because There Will Be Blood is considered a classic by now. I don't know how people will feel about this movie, but this movie is a bit more my cup of tea than that movie was. I enjoyed the characters more. There were certain characters that I was rooting for, characters that I'm rooting against, and overall, this movie has a very, not goofy vibe, but this movie can be funny when it wants to be, and serious when it wants to be, but it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I appreciate. I will say I do think the movie takes a little while to get going. There's a bit of an extended prologue that isn't necessarily bad or anything. I'm watching the movie and I'm kind of like, what are we doing here? Like, what's the plot here? I don't quite know what's going on, but you stick with it. And then there's a certain scene with Sean Penn at about, I would say, 1/4 of the way through the movie, where you kind of realize what the plot's going to be. And as soon as that scene happened, I was like, oh, I'm on board. This is going to be interesting. And it was. There's a certain sense of inevitability to everything that happens in this movie, which, as an audience member, you appreciate. It's almost like, sort of a foreshadowing in the sense that, or dramatic irony, where we know what's going to happen, but the characters don't know. And so there's a certain sense of, either suspense and dread, or just looking forward to seeing what is going to happen to these people happen. There are still a few surprises, but I'm not going to say this movie was super shocking. But again, I think that's on purpose. It's almost like you're just watching everything that would happen as a result of these characters' actions during the prologue, and then, throughout the whole film, everything that happens to them is inevitable. And that's kind of the whole point of the movie, I feel, is demonstrating consequences of choices, which I appreciate. The best part of the movie for me by far is, I don't know if it's exactly the middle, but it's around the middle, and it's kind of a chase, kind of like a hide and seek extended sequence of basically Leonardo DiCaprio's character following Benicio del Toro's character around as they're trying to, avoid the authorities. And there's just this great, it's the funniest part of the movie, but it's also the part of the movie that has the most momentum, there's just a lot of forward movement, and the movie's really going. It feels a lot like a one shot that you see in certain movies, like the Extraction movies or 1917, for example. But it's not. But it has that same sort of constantly moving forward energy that I really enjoyed. So all in all, not too much to say about this movie, but I do think it's pretty good. I didn't love it. I don't think it's going to be one of my all-time favorite movies, but I was pleasantly surprised. It kind of lived up to the hype, which I appreciate. So if you're looking for something it is long. I will say that it is long. So if you're looking to, if you don't have any plans all evening, then yeah, this will be a fine movie to watch in the theater. I don't know if it's a essential theater watch. But if you've seen any Paul Thomas Anderson movie before, you know how his movies are very much adult oriented. So there are dramas dealing with very serious things. So if you're in the mood for that, and you're also in the mood for a longer movie, I'd say check it out or rent it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on One Battle After Another.